Welcome back, Mr. Eddie Osayenhoy joins us now. He's the former president, Finance Houses Association of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning. I mean, incidentally, from the look of things, our resources consistently dwindling. Now we have this crisis we're facing with major marketers, and people even wonder, finance houses, they exist in this country, and what kind of roles have they been playing? Shouldn't they be contributing to get us out of this situation we find ourselves in?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. And I'm happy I'm here to throw light on all these things. Finance houses are very, very relevant in any economy. And CBN recently launched a document which is restructuring finance company. And by the end of, around 1st of October this year, a new finance outfit will be born in this country. That came up from the struggle we've had over the years. And we need to be able to find out how relevant finance companies should be in this country. We know about microfinance, looking at it's very low thing. We know the bank for the big businesses, but the middle people were left out uncared for, maybe because of what happened in the past. So CBN, following our persistent struggle and argument, saw the need to look at that sector. And they came out with a document in April this year, which was launched. I wonder why China was not in that launching ceremony. The document has been launched, and where people are now trying to comply. A lot of it improved the capital base. They also talk about areas where they can now really operate. One of it is equipment leasing, finance lease, which is actually one area they have actually kept it. And one very important area which I think we should talk about is concessionary, because in this part of the world, people don't see the need on bill operate and transfer. So when we look about this issue about government here and there, I think some of the problems with us has been we just put everything in, take the money, share it, and that's it.
I think people also had this challenge when, for those who entered into that kind of BOT agreement, they saw that some parties, I think government also reneged on their promise at some point. So it raised a lot of question about the integrity of some of those agreements that they signed, although in black and white and supposedly cast in stone.
No, some of the agreements are working, just that maybe anything with government.
Maybe one or two.
Yeah, anything with government will have a lot of things to talk about it. But the truth about it is that the legal framework got to be strong. You know what I mean? In the economy, if there are agreements that need to be put in through, the legal framework got to be okay. Once that legal framework is work, you can also sue for a right if your right is trampled upon, and you get answers early enough. That is the foundation for some of those things. Bill operate and transfer is build, operate over a period, and transfer to the rightful owner. So they provide you land, and you raise money from anywhere. And the beauty of the reform I just mentioned about now is that finance companies are now allowed to raise money outside the country and within the country to do projects in Nigeria. So all those are things that will come out from the reform which is coming up.
But part of the impression people have out there is such that, look, you can't go to many of these banks to seek a loan to perform any function, even if it's a small enterprise, because the interest rate is killing. You may end up folding your business while you're trying to pay. And then they also have this impression that it looks as though the existing finance houses are just there for themselves and not necessarily to grow the economy, because access to credit is a big challenge.
No, I think if you look at the agri administration, they did some intervention fund, like the SME, the 220 billion which was for SME.
Did they access it?
It's there, yeah, but I think it came too late. That's the truth for the government. I think it was their own undoing. A large thing like that, they came out with it too late, and the way they are assessing it is slow. Out of the 220 billion, where only 60 billion have been assessed so far. So because there are a lot of constraints and tight inputs, finance companies are among those who are supposed to assess those things for SME. See, the truth is, SME is the engine of growth in any economy. You can't run an economy like this with population size of this, what we have, with a lot of SMEs where we don't have access to cheap fund. That 220 billion was supposed to be assessed with about the interest rate of about 9% per annum, which is the cheapest around the environment now. And that cut across women in business as well. So we have 60% of that fund. So emphasis was for women because they believe that women we take the money and pay back. Apart from that, they believe that women
don't pay back.
No, you know what I'm saying. Women too.
No, we don't.
You know that. You know that women too have a way of, if you grow a woman, you grow an economy, they take care of the business very well, and you also take care of the kids. So I think that was a laudable objective, because some of these microfinance in those days were actually focused on women. Has seemed to be successful, because women pay back and do low. So to answer you straight, there have been some of these interventions.
Why are you so surprised, Chamberlain?
We're getting
used to the idea.
I'm trying to look at, small businesses are very key in every economy.
Yes.
And most times you go around, you see the small entrepreneur there always looking how he or she can get funding to get a better footing.
Yes.
Whether you're a vulcanizer, you're a hairdresser, you're a barber, or you're just a small shop owner, they still have it difficult getting to start up. What would you be saying that is out there that they don't know that can help them start up so that they can also be by themselves and ultimately even be, job creators?
Honestly, I'm surprised. This intervention fund was launched to take care of these SMEs. Although, like I said, there have been hitches of implementation, which when you think about government and stuff like that. CBN too wanted to be sure that these funds are not just taken like a normal, whatever, it must be paid back. And so
it's not free.
It's not free. It's something you need to. Intervention fund, it got to be done like an impress system. You take it and bring it back, and
it
go
revolves
around to so many people, so you could go around to so many people. And so there are limits and levels of what can be accessed to a certain group of people. So like you just said, those aspects like vulcanizer, tailors, and fashion thing, hotels, and they're all well catered for in that document.
Mr. Osanego, why I'm bringing these set of people in? I have come to realize that as soon as you help some of these people to start off, they don't come back to you for money. They stand on their own in most cases, but it's always difficult for them to get off with that kind of business.
Yeah, no, I didn't get your question.
Most of these small-time business owners, once they get the funds, they don't come back to you again for more because they grow.
They grow.
But the start-off is the difficult thing for some of them. How they can get access to credit is another thing.
No, like I said, this credit, this 220 billion came in recently. That's why I said the outgoing administration, actually, they had launched this 3 years back or 2 years back, and they had done a lot in the economy. People would have seen that. I am saying that, like you equally agree with me, SME is the engine of growth. There are a lot of people there, and we are looking at an economy that is driven by a capitalist economy. So we don't really want to encourage people just living a community life. So that actually will enable people that have small business to access this fund through us and microfinance. You know what I'm saying? So there are some agencies that have been accredited by CBN that can access this fund on behalf of these people, to be sure that you can track it. And they did one very good thing in that project, like they did in Greek, where they can, if you take this fertilizer thing, they're able to track it to whoever is taking it. The same thing they are doing with
worked?
Yeah, it worked. Same thing they are doing with this intervention fund, to the extent that if you are one of the agencies that will take the fund, you must be seen to be disbursing within about 24 or so hours. So they can even
within
call,
24 hours?
Yes, you can even call the beneficiary to be sure the money got to their hand. So those are the things that were incorporated in that program. But I think somewhere along the line, the state government were equally given some part of the 2 billion they gave to the state were part of this 220 billion, which some of the states shared out, which you can be sure some of them even turn into political whatever. But I think the whole idea was for that fund to be taken around to these small business owners to grow their business. I think that way, if they had actually expanded that to reach so many people, it will help the people you are talking about now.